water with LEEA, and I'm here with Wim Fabricius, who is the Managing Director for Europe, Middle East and Africa for the Crosby Group. Wim, how did you come to be involved with LEEA?
So the Crosby Group has been a long-time member of LEEA. I need to go back through the historic books to really figure out what date and the year was. But I know with many acquisitions that the Crosby Group has done within Europe and UK particularly, it's been a very long time, and we've had board memberships. So I think, quite a while, and it's been, I think, a really good cooperation for I guess the both of us.
And how does safety and lifting at height come into play with the association?
If I look back at the history that we work together, safety has always been one of the key elements of this cooperation, and we're sort of have the same vision of how the lifting industry should look like, and safety is obviously the red thread in all of that. And that's also why I think it's a great way for us to promote our white papers, work together with LEEA on, I would say, the deeper technical side of things when it comes to lifting and safety associated with it. So I think that's really the strength in the connection between the Crosby Group and LEEA as an organization, because we have the same vision and values when it comes to safety.
And I believe you have published a couple of white papers recently. Can you tell me about those?
So we look at this really holistically from both sides, users as well as internally, and how we can help with that. And so those white papers that we publish are really driving, I would say, that awareness and safety message. And so the last ones that we've done were around mooring fatigue. So we have a business unit and let's say a brand, a product line called Crosby Foibo, which is specialized in mooring equipment. And I think where this comes back to also the engineering side of things is, first you have something, you make something that can lift something safely, right? But maybe it can lift it once or can lift it twice. And that's where fatigue comes in play. And particularly for mooring equipment, it is important to take a look at that, because mooring obviously takes place below the sea level. And with the dynamic waves of the sea, fatigue is really very relevant. And I would say, if you look at, accidents and risks and failures in the past, they have, not always, but they have to some extent connection with how often a product or a piece of equipment is used, and that's where fatigue comes in play. So we talk about the cycles at which these items are exposed to, and then we try to show how we think about this and how our products could benefit the end user in making their operation, in this case the mooring operation, just a little safer, and with the amount of, I would say, risk of lives and money associated with mooring and the heavy structures in the sea. I think it's really important for people to be educated on the risks, but also on the ways to mitigate those risks. So that was the most recent white paper. Then another one, which I think is very close connected to it, although it's not about mooring, it's about the lifting operation. It's about a self-locking hook. And again, here the red thread is safety, right? Because it starts with a hook. You can put something in it, a sling, some wire, and then you can lift something, right? But then you think about the risks. You think about, okay, what can happen if we do this, if we do that? And that's how our self-locking hook comes in play. And it's in fact an invention already dating back to the 60s, where Gunnebo Industries launched their BK self-locking hook. And what this essentially does is it makes sure that obviously the load stays in the hook. That's the basic use of a hook. But more importantly, it also makes the user plus the load safe by positively locking, meaning when you lift, the hook automatically locks, and therefore there is no risk of the load coming out. But that's one. And then you think about the next risk, right? What happens with, for example, the fingers of the operator that opens the hook, that does something with it? So there are additional features coming into those product lines, not just the BK hook, but also the Sherlock hook that we have on our Crosby brand, which at the end of the day makes the operation more safe, both from an end user perspective, but also for, really the operator of that specific hook and product. So I think those are two examples where in a white paper, safety and the way we look at it come together.
And the Crosby Group has a number of brands now in its portfolio, the latest being a combination with Keto Corporation. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The merger or the business combination that the Crosby Group currently has with Keto Corporation is the most recent one. The deal was closed the end of February, and I think it brings together two global leaders that have the same vision about safety and quality. Both brands, both the Crosby Group and its associated brands, as well as the Keto Corporation's brands, are both perceived excellently in the market, and we share really the same vision around safety. And so I think that will be a great combination going forward, which will bring, at the end of the day, a better safety experience to our end users and our partners alike in the lifting market.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Jenny.